Merry Christmas or early Christmas or Happy Holidays, depending on who you are. This is a season of giving, and I am here to gift you all something that does not spark joy. None of these gifts have to spark joy.
Yeah.
We're watching Cats 2019.
Yeah, apparently Shiroi had run out of Good Times movie to hide herself behind it, so she decided to retaliate.
She chose violence today. Okay.
I did. And the cat claws are out.
Yeah.
Let me
Now,
put it like this. This was a movie so bad that literally at the Oscars, which were a month after the film's release, two of the leading actors, James Corden and Rebel Wilson, came out in full catsuits made to mock the movie.
And I had to apologize.
Less than practically a month after its release, they were apologizing for it profusely.
You know what's this?
This was a movie that had to get patched. Yes, I spoke clearly.
This movie got a day one patch.
The interesting thing is that I'm probably the only one who's sad about this movie, since not for the reasons everybody else is, because I have zero familiarity with a Cats musical. The reason this movie makes me sad is because it's directed by Tom Hooper, who directed King's Speech, and that movie was great, so I have no idea what the hell happened. Yeah, but that's the thing to is what happened. This guy clearly can make a good movie.
I think the answer is the executives at Universal, because before this, the never major musical that Tom Hooper did was Les Miserables, and that was actually successful, even if I'm not the biggest fan of it. So I get the idea they wanted to have him, not typecasted, but called for that. Yes, please.
Not that Tom Hooper was helping himself in this case.
No, I know about that, but it was mostly about
now
the preview of that. Go on.
All right, so now this movie made the brave decision to go up against Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker in cinemas in December 2019. Probably the Universal were thinking, hey, Jumanji 2 managed to hold its own against The Last Jedi. This film should surely be the same. But you see, here's the thing. Jumanji 2 was a good movie.
Not to mention, this movie was at the basic.
Now that begs the question, though: can this movie actually be worse than Rise of Skywalker? That would be quite.
Yes, yes, 1,000 times yes.
Yes, but for different reasons than one might think. Not to mention, these had basically a hard time to walk through already from the get-go, because. Honestly, okay, the production of this movie stayed quiet for the most part, but as soon as the very first trailer dropped, people freaked the fuck out for very good reasons that you will be about to see in the movie itself, which led eventually to what Jova also called at the day one patch that fixed the wonderful CGI effects.
Let me put it like this. The very opening of this commentary is going to be me dropping quite a bomb of info, because...
Yeah, but actually, for the record, because I actually don't know much about what is the source material of this movie?
It was a musical. Andrew Lloyd Webber, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Musical. I did watch that, and movie adaptations and musicals can work very well, but maybe we should just go back to the route of filming live performances and releasing those. Maybe.
Well, I wish it was more
that's
common.
the thing. They did do that back in 1998.
I had the VHS.
So one of the few musicals to actually think, hey, maybe we should at least just do a proper recording of the original cast, which will be beloved.
Again, I only saw one actually recording of the original musical when I was very little. I did enjoy it as far as my memory goes, because again, from what I based on one review that I saw, Musical Hell from Diva, apparently even the story of the original is not that complex, and it's just there mostly for entertainment value, but it's still apparently a good time. So already adapting something like that into a full-fledged, fully backed movie backed by Comcast felt kind of odd. I get that the musical is super famous, one of the most famous of its kind, but still, which does remind me, before we start, what was the budget of this thing? On
a budget of $80 to $100 million, it it achieved it made a great achievement. It grossed 75.5 million.
Still way too much. Still way too much. But I guess we dwindled enough and we can just
And even better,
marinate.
Andrew Lloyd Webber doesn't like this movie either.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Would you?
All right.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, shall we get this started?
Yeah,
This movie is long enough.
start before the Universal logo. Shiroi?
3, 2, 1, click. I'm sorry.
To be fair,
No, you're
I mean,
not.
it's not even 2 hours. I mean, usually Broadway musicals go on for quite a while, or like over 2 hours and a half.
think
for
it's the
3
case.
hours.
I think it's the case of this movie. You will actually feel every single second.
Let me put
As such, I brought my old friend with me, Booze. So
Let me
let's
put
have some fun.
Let me put it like this. Yes, 90 is your typical movie affair. 2 hours can be your typical long or proper movie affair. It just depends on how well you do it. If you misuse it, then yes, anything close to 2 hours is going to feel
Working Title.
long.
It's a company called Working Title.
Yes, it is.
It's like that video game
Spielberg was
company
behind it?
kind of
Okay,
energy.
He's the executive producer.
Okay. Probably should explain this. This has kind of been a thing since the 90s, believe it or not. Basically, this is a movie technically saved from development hell. Steven Spielberg had planned an animated adaptation back in the 1990s. It would have been his company's fourth feature, which, would have been neat. There's even some concept art of that vision, which was released shortly after this film was announced. Now, how much this has to do with that original vision, I do not know.
Oh boy, we start already.
It begins.
It really begins.
Yes, it does begin. So, believe it or not,
From what I've heard on the soundtrack, this is the best represented music from the musical in this movie because
The opening piece, that should say a lot.
it keeps the 80s synth from the original.
okay, you know what? Probably should mention it. You may notice that some patches of fur look a bit weird. That's because they had to edit out buttholes in the characters. Yes,
Yeah.
there were
The
originally
original draft had
buttholes.
buttholes.
And yes, there was a showing of that version with buttholes, and it's, well, I haven't seen it, but I have heard
Release
stories.
the battle cat on Peacock Universal. Come on.
Okay, so, shall we talk about...
Let's get the cat out of the bag, literally. This compromise in having the characters looking like cats is just...
Let me put it like this. There's a reason that Lion King the musical doesn't make the characters look exactly like furries. They look like good representations of the animals that they're representing here and there. Having them look through either means of good costume work or puppetry. And Cats, the musical, was sort of similar. Okay, yeah, now they did dress as furries there, but more like, cat-human hybrids, which, for the sake of it, does make sense. Here...
Oh, we start singing, not even a narration or something. Fuck me.
Here...
It's a musical.
I expected at least a minor narration. Sorry, Trevor, go on, please.
No, but this is the thing, too. This is not a typical
Anyway.
Disney musical. This is a Broadway musical. In Broadway musical, there's like singing like 80% of the time.
West End more accurate.
It depends on the Broadway musical, but whatever. The problem with the characters here is, well, look at them. This is shot like a furry's... Well, actually, you know what? Not a furry's wet dream, because even the furries hated this movie, if you can believe that. This is just... It's beyond uncanny. It's...
I'm sure someone is still excited about these designs.
Well, there's a thing, Joe. In the defense, again, there's bad porn and there's not every porn is good.
Exactly. I mean,
Also, this term.
I'm pretty confident furries also have standards, just like all of us.
Also, this term, Jellicle, apparently it's a thing tied to this cat, but, that express like joy or something is just a made-up term.
Excuse me? What?
I guess. Yeah, anyway, yes, Lives, you wanted to say.
Okay, from what I've looked up, the cats are not from motion capture. It was actually they used different animation techniques to just put the fur on the actors.
More on that later, but Teo, it's funny you mentioned that. There's a quote from How Not to Write a Novel that's actually pretty interesting regarding what you and Pedro said about that.
Okay, here's the thing. I've seen plenty of movies that have really weird character design or costume design or anything like that. Like, for example, God, what's his name? Roberto, whatever. What's his name? Benigni,
I was going to say
Benigni.
Benigni's Pinocchio movie also looks kind of,
like this.
No. That's the thing. In his movie, he doesn't even look like a puppet. He's literally just an adult wearing a clown costume.
Well, Pedro was talking about having an uncanny valley effect just for different reasons.
Yeah, uncanny valley in these things. Honestly,
was that uncanny though? Yeah, that just seemed stupid.
Don't get me wrong. This looks uncanny. It looks bad and all that stuff. I'm not denying that. But honestly,
oh God.
I have a high tolerance towards this stuff, so honestly, this doesn't bother me.
Good for you. It still got awful. Anyway, back to what I was...
Oh, it is. I never said it wasn't.
Anyway, back to what I was trying to say earlier. It's funny once you mentioned, Pedro, about how, yes, even, porn lovers or furries can have their standards here. There's a quote from How Not to Write a Novel, which does mention about how something can be...
Idris Elba.
We'll get to him later.
What are you doing here, Idris?
Give a reader a sex scene that is only half right is like giving her half of a kitten. It is not half as cute as a whole kitten. It is a bloody, god-awful mess. And that essentially does get into the standards here. Like, this does not look appealing in any way whatsoever. And yet, believe it or not, Universal were expecting this to get a lot of the Academy Awards. They were actually planning a big Academy Awards push for this. This was due to the competition of Tom Hooper having previously directed the Best Picture-winning film, The King's Speech. And, a lot of other film musicals had good success at the Oscars here and there. Well, this movie did up winning awards at the Golden Raspberry Awards. Let me put it like this. The closest this movie got to the Oscars was, like I mentioned, James Corden and Rebel Wilson showing up to mock the hell out of it. And speaking of mocking it, James Corden even mocked it on his Daily Night Show, not too long after its release.
Okay, so what about the overall storyline? Like, is the storyline been changed since the musical?
That's the thing, Pedro. There's not really much of a story to Cats. It's mainly just
there never was one really in the
what I
original
remember,
style.
it's something like each character. It's basically like each character presents themselves, and then at the end they dance together. It's kind of like the Dance of the Hour, the one that got represented in Fantasia. I mean, but I'm talking about its original conception as an opera.
Think about Cats like a musical.
Stop saying Jellicle.
Think of Cats the musical like sort of like a documentary on cats, but more entertaining essentially. That's something that can work in a Broadway musical.
Idris,
not so much in a movie. And Knuckles, what are you doing here?
Oh no.
You know what's sad? He's probably still going to look better in the second Sonic movie than he does here.
Well, from what we saw of the placeholders, probably, yeah.
Okay, we're talking about Idris Elba, but I forgot who is our main star. These girl kitten.
Do we really have a main
Victoria?
Character?
Yes.
This is Victoria, the White Cat, played by accomplished ballet dancer Francesca Hayward.
Oh.
I mean, look, I'll just say this. I struggle to call her a main character. Like, I guess she's the character that we follow, but she does not feel like a main character.
I know that with Drova, but a lot of products seem to have that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, when it comes to the question of designate a protagonist or something, that has to be the choice in a situation like this.
So, I know what you're thinking. God, these people look like they're naked with nothing but bits of fur clinging to their bodies. And dear
wasn't this a Netflix production? Ooh.
And yes, dear viewer, you would be hopefully not right, but God, that is what it looks like.
They should have just gone the route of the musical. Yes, that's not, full furry, but still, it's a blindside better than this.
Also,
honestly,
I
dig the costumes from the original musical. They're a nice blend, honestly.
Also, I
Oh,
wonder...
no, I'm not saying they're not. It's just, yeah.
I wonder if some of the names of the tombstones are like part of the development team, just for funsies.
Now, before I get back to the visual effects, let's get to a problem with the story here. You may have noticed that we barely started and we've been to already 4 different locations, all within the first 10 minutes of the film.
And we barely have any major dialogues, we're just jumping from song to song.
Now, okay, look, it is possible to have a musical that's done mainly in song, like Pirates of Penzance. See, the thing is that Pirates of Penzance remembers to have the narrative going with the songs here, instead of literally just stopping to do it. Like, look, for example, Pirates of Penzance, technically, the original musical has 3 locations at best, but the narrative constantly feels like it's moving here. Even still, the movie did remember to change some stuff up here, because you can't always just translate a musical strictly to film. It can lead to a lot of problems here and there. Like hell, I'm gonna say it, The Wiz did a better job adapting its musical than this movie did. I say that when we're not even 11 minutes into this film, and I assure you, this is
I will
worse
also
than The
say
Wiz.
this. So far the story is, despite being a bit confusing, it's still relatively fine. This new cat is being introduced to this community and has to learn the ins and outs of it.
So there is a...
Also, here's another problem.
It's minimal, but there is.
Everyone acts like they are horny in this movie, and I get it, cats and all, but it feels like this is an ecchi more than anything half the time.
We were talking about how disappointing it was that Tom Hooper was, the director of this. He also co-wrote the screenplay, but do you know the other writer of this movie that disappoints me personally even more?
Go on.
Lee Hall. Because earlier on in the same year this film came out, Lee Hall wrote another musical film, Rocket Man, a musical biopic about Elton John, and that was a great film.
Yeah, I heard good things about it.
So, Shiroi, on a level of 1 to 10, how much am I supposed to care about this?
Probably not very much.
A Jellicle out of 10, Java. Who plays Mistopheles, Dweebs?
Mr. Mistopheles.
Yes.
Probably someone who probably felt really guilty after this.
Which, by the way, this guy's supposed to be a good guy, mind you. No trick, ironically, no tricks up his sleeve, and yet he has the name equivalent to basically the devil.
Laurie Davidson.
Oh, man.
So, here's the thing, essentially. Jellicle cats are, they're basically a cult.
Yeah, a death cult, to be precise.
Well, to be fair, we don't know that part yet, but...
But we mostly talked about also their leader right now, actually, Old Deutheronomy, which we'll meet, don't worry.
Oh,
and yes, they mentioned about a reincarnation kind of process. Believe it or not.
Oh, get it? The Egyptian, because the Egyptians worshipped cats. So, Shiroi, how much was this Jellicle thing a thing in the original musical?
I mean, I'm not sure how much it kept going. They've been saying it a lot. Remember, I haven't seen the original musical for quite some time. So...
Okay, would you say this movie is a worse bastardization of its original source play than the Mamma Mia movie?
Oh dear, I feel like they're both varying levels of crap. Like, they're both incredibly crap in their own ways, I think.
Sorry, go on.
No, I think that was it.
I think we're gonna show her now.
No. Are we gonna have the...
sir.
Oh, goodness me.
Ladies and gentlemen...
in the glass.
And, okay, in a rare case of getting to use her native Australian accent, Rebel Wilson plays Jenny Anydots.
She's supposed to be one of the major comic relief of the movie. Spoiler, she's not funny.
By the way, audience, this is my first time seeing this movie, so I'm suffering with the rest of them.
Oh, well, that
Oh.
makes it okay then.
Yes, it does.
Does it?
Oh God, stop
does it
that.
though?
Stop that
Does
now.
Okay.
Shiroi,
You see
does
what
it
I
though?
mean? You see what I mean about this movie feeling like it's two
Can
steps
you
away from being a
please,
porno? Serious?
Honestly, this so far just seems like really bad furry
She's
porn,
she's
to be
doing
honest
cat
with you.
things.
Good for you, Pedro. You don't
Bad
suffer
furry
as much
porn
as we
with
do.
budgets.
I mean, it's just one of those things where, yes, I mean, trust me, Joe. If I if this freaks you out, I could show you some shit, my dude.
No.
That-
Look. I
It's
do.
the uncanny valley, I think.
What is
Okay.
she holding?
Let me
No,
put it
even
like
in that
this.
level.
A sausage, I think.
Let me put it like this, Pedro. Look, as long as you're prepared for something, more often than not, you can sustain it. Imagine a lot of parents taking their kids to go see this movie and having to explain
no.
this stuff
Oh,
to
no.
the kids.
Oh, sure, I understand that.
That's
Like,
not how it
oh,
oh,
It's just
Oh my god, we found an effect worse than the cats.
It's just that, Jova, as someone who has seen quite the variety of various different types of porn, I can tell you that I've seen some shit.
Oh, look, trust me, I do get it. What I'm saying is, like, well, by the standards of film, this is god-awful.
Oh,
Like-
definitely. This is god awful. It's just that I just don't find it painful. That's all I'm saying.
Again. Let me put it like this. If this were actually a porno, sure, we'd probably still be disgusted, but we wouldn't be as baffled with it. It's just that when you make something that's supposed to be
Oh.
for kids this much of a, well, porno and everything but name.
Honestly, I can think of certain people who definitely like this as a porno. So if this movie tried to put itself as a porno, it probably would have gone a lot better.
Probably.
I
well,
doubt it, because
well,
again, even the
that's-
furries hated this.
True. Like,
Oh.
that's...
Sure. We should not group everyone into the same group. Yes, I'm pretty confident there's still some out there who like the porno aspect of it.
Well, okay,
Also-
to be fair, if there were, then they were the incredibly small minority. And that's the thing. This thing goes to the lowest common denominator in a terrible, terrible way. You want to know the big irony, though? This was named by the same effects company that actually helped save the Sonic movie from being the disaster it was originally looking to be.
If I
course-
recall correctly, the special effect team was basically ostracized and bullied both by the director and by Universal all the way through.
Okay, let's
Oh
get...
no, not
Oh
this!
no.
Oh man,
God, I hate this.
What is?
Sure, right,
Yeah,
were
what they
cockroaches
said.
in the original...
the idea of a song about Jenny Dots, whatever.
Oh, goody!
God.
Let's just throw in Vor while we're at it.
And now she's taking
Oh no! Oh.
What is happening?
What the hell?
Well, that didn't take long.
So the
But yeah,
cockroaches are also.
the song about Jenny and Dots is the fact that she's supposed to keep the house. Can you stop? But in her free time, she's actually educating the mice and the cockroaches of the house instead. So,
So when
thank you,
Ah!
Oh, okay. So the director decided to show off his fetish.
Tom,
Okay.
Tommy boy, can you please?
Tio, I
Only-
sincerely hope you're enjoying your favorite alcohol right
It is.
there.
It is
Guys,
like ambrosia.
hey guys, only 17 minutes in. Does it not fill you with joy to see Rebel Wilson?
It fills me with spirit, just not the one you think. Also, well, might as well actually, learn about also these.
Jason Derulo.
What are
Oh,
you doing
Jason,
here, actually?
what are you doing here? You're a good singer, but what are you doing here?
On
No, I
that,
mean seriously though, he has not really been in much movies before this.
On that note, pardon the pun, who was the actual composer for this?
They just oh god, no, I think he's terrible. They basically tier the credited composer. But the credited composer is Andrew Lloyd Webber, but only because they just flat out take the songs from the musical.
Oh, by the
but
way,
we
from
don't
what I
know who did the arrangements.
And Andrew Lloyd Webber did compose a new song with Taylor Swift.
It's funny because he's more or less disowned this thing. He called the film ridiculous, calling out Tom Hooper for not wanting anyone involved in the making of the original show involved. He was so upset by the movie that he actually bought himself a therapy dog.
Fair enough.
Jason Derulo? Or,
No, Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Oh.
Oh, boy. But yes, this movie had a bout of executive meddling here. See, Universal were like the only people shocked when, well, the first trailer got... Well, to put it nuclear might be a bit of an understatement, so let's just say it was grandiosely atomic negative reaction. When they saw the reaction to the first trailer, they cut the funding for the film. No, seriously.
Instead of, actually trying to improve it.
Yep, and believe it or not, they canceled their Oscar campaign for it.
Not to mention, if I recall correctly, most of the special effect artists had to crunch themselves and make the movie work in time for the first, screening of it.
Which makes you wonder.
We managed to finish it by the finishing line.
Which makes you wonder. This is what the movie looks like in its salvaged form. What did it look like before?
Oh my God.
Yeah, basically. So we're gonna get to Judi Dench's character.
You not yet, Pedro.
Also, Jova.
Yes.
Oh, we have
A Jason Derulo is in a movie or in anything where he sings but doesn't sing his own name.
Also,
That's
Pedro, I said
nice.
not yet, so maybe I have to see her.
Yes.
I guess at this point, Judy has just given up on being in good movies at all.
Oh,
I
don't.
thought she was in a couple of decent ones.
Well, not lately, but patience, Pedro. We'll get to her
Also,
eventually.
Milk Bar.
You're a Shakespearean trained actress, honey. Why are you here?
Ha! Fuck off.
Like you were any better.
No, get it, Jova? Because we're under the Milk Bar. It's funny. Fucking love Jova.
So yeah, basically we've just been getting a few songs about, hey, I'm this, hey, I'm that, and yes, I do.
Oh, what the fuck?
And yes,
well,
and
that
yes,
was the structure of the original. Each cat presenting themselves ideally.
Exactly, but here's the problem with it in this movie.
Oh.
I look forward to receiving multiple copies of Balan Wonderworld in the mail.
For the record, Deji sadly, very sadly, could not join us today. Surprisingly, it's not even a thing like he backed out or anything. He literally just could not. But they just dodged a bullet.
So okay.
Yes, I know he's a curious guy.
Honestly,
He dances around like a disco kid.
Okay. Back to my point, though. Yes, I do get that was a thing in the original musical. And yes, I get wanting to bring it here. The problem is how they're merging it into the overall narrative that this movie has constructed for itself. So instead of feeling like a good adaptation to the original, it just feels like clumsy padding. Like,
About what?
About cats.
Yo.
Dwayne, it's about cats. That's what it is. It's cats, Dwayne. Cats!
He didn't even finish the sentence. Or is he going back to the...
That rum tugger is quite an awesome guy, ain't he?
Even as a fishbone collar thingy.
To show
Can
you
you-
he's the baddest bone in town.
And that was...
Why are you looking at me?
No, that was that bit where he just laughs as he ran off the stage. That was Derulo just trying to comprehend.
Oh,
what he
right. I
signed
think
up
we
for.
need to be introduced to another important character. The ostracized cat. I forgot what she's called.
The one
I know she's-
everybody hates.
I mean, I know she's... Is this the one played by Jennifer Hudson?
I think she might be.
Check the
Basically-
cast list.
She's actually the one who...
Isabella.
Yeah, she's the one who has been assigned basically the Oscar bait songs.
And yet, she's probably the best character in this movie. Has the best songs, the best singing voice,
Again,
and everything.
Oscar baiting. It doesn't automatically mean they're bad.
Believe it or not, actually, she is about of adaptational attractiveness, because in the original musical, she's traditionally played with an old withered face and runny makeup that gives her a washed-up appearance, which,
That's
goes
because
into why she's
of the story.
ostracized.
Yeah, again, it's a story reason purposes.
Here, all we can say is, I guess they ostracize her because she's black, because otherwise she looks just fine.
That makes any sense. Cats don't have racial whatever.
Regardless, that's my point, though. Why do they ostracize her in this version? She looks adorable. She's actually one of the
Okay.
better-looking people.
Again, I forgot all this. Wasn't it a case like she failed the test of the cult once, and she was ostracized because of that?
That wouldn't make sense because literally only one person can win each year, so I don't get it.
Me neither.
Jesus
She really
Christ.
is the most cat-looking one.
Personal
Yeah.
space.
Yeah, like, I mean, kudos. She actually looks like the closest thing to a good blend of it. I mean, it's still this movie,
Ron
but...
Pantaga also had a cool quote beforehand, but then he
Sure.
decided to remove it.
Yeah, like, and that's one thing. Some minutes these cats have clothes, others they don't. Like, what is the
that
point?
line reminds me that there is a song that's later coming up who I think in the original had some minor racist connotations, so they had to actually change it for the movie, but we're not there yet, I think.
But yeah, I mean, I don't get it. They decide some cats wear clothes, then suddenly they don't for one reason or another.
I'll also say. What the fuck?
Oh my god.
What the
So, time to down another glass to you?
Alright, for the record, Trova, I already lost. I haven't actually started keeping count of the shots, so it's free game, baby.
Oh boy.
How much is left in the bottle?
Maybe it's just the fact that.
More than half at the very
Oh,
least.
okay.
Okay.
Maybe it's
Well,
just the fact that.
the night is still very long, Shiroi.
Oh my god, come to think of it, does this movie take place in one night now that I think about it?
Yes, actually.
Yeah, basically.
Everybody-
It actually,
So
it's the Bloodborne of musicals.
What's so difficult about it?
Okay.
I think a
Watching it.
better comparison would be The Quiet Man.
Oh, right. Here's her backstory. Basically, yeah, she used to be the star of Windmill, but because she went with McCavity, now they look down on her. Which doesn't...
Oh no, sir. Oh no, it's him.
Oh.
it's him.
The Penguin?
No,
Kinda.
James Corden.
Christopher Jones. He's joking. Get this, Pedro.
Ah.
Revolutionary concept. All the jokes that are around this character is that he's fat and he eats a lot. Laugh,
Uh-huh.
please.
Well, Andrew Lloyd Webber is very old-fashioned when it comes to.
But
Yes,
again, you have to remember also, the original musical was only mostly just about the song. This movie also adds the imagery, as you're about to see.
Also, from what I can recall, James Corden plays him. Corden actually does have theatre experience,
Oh, yeah, it's like...
unlike almost all the other cast.
Okay, look, I know it's fun for people to crap on him, but no, I actually do have some respect for James Corden. When he's used properly and, when he's clearly giving a crap. Good examples are, surprisingly of all things, the Peter Rabbit movies. Yes, he was actually
Well, remember,
good at
Job,
those.
a general rule of thumb: the Peter Rabbit movies are movies that are surprisingly good, but nobody actually sees them for some
Pretty-
reason.
Pretty much. And hey, on his late night talk show, he's actually pretty funny there too, I'll give him that. And yes,
but-
he did mock this movie to high heaven on the...
Whoosh! And by the way, yes, there's this kind of subplot where Idris Elba's cat
McCavity.
McCavity just kidnaps some cats in between
Yeah.
musical TV
So-
sequences.
He wants
It's
to get rid of the
basically-
competition,
Yeah,
essentially.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So he could be the only one and get the reincarnation.
The
prize.
Jellicle, whatever.
So,
Also, another thing that Diva noted. Oh my god. Diva noticed the proportions in this movie are completely fucked. Sometimes the cats look like they're the size of the objects they're around with, like a normal cat. Other times they look like bigger out of nowhere. It's not even like stylistic one in a sense of it's kind of like in a musical number where characters might look big in another shot for the sake of art expressionism. No, it's just because.
Like, oh boy. Okay, so yeah, James Corden, from what I've seen, he does not lose sleep over this movie. In the sense that he doesn't lose sleep over this movie not getting a sequel. He, I'm not quite sure he looks at it as an old shame, but he clearly doesn't like the film. Like I said, he made fun of it in one of his
Okay, I will give this to the movie. This bit, at least, it's a bit funny, mostly because it's a bit of self-awareness.
Also, hey, Jova, do you know what
the problem is that he goes through too long.
Do you know what I just thought of, though, actually, Jova?
What?
I wonder if James Corden was in competition with John Oliver to be a British-born American TV show talk show host, to be in a worst movie in 2019. Because James Corden had this, while John Oliver had Wonder Park and The Lion King.
Did we need that?
Okay. Wait, Wonder Park. Wait. John Oliver was in. James Corden was in Wonder Park?
No. John Oliver was.
Who was he in that?
A guy named Steve, the porcupine.
I'll just say this. I will say this. James Corden won in spades that year. Like, say what you will about Lion King or Wonder Park, those are like mediocre at worst. This transcends badness. This is just terrible. The
most positive I can say, again, aside from one or two jokes working as intended, is the fact that at least the fact that it has an all-star cast is that the singing is not that bad.
That, and from what I've seen, while James Corden clearly doesn't like the film, he doesn't regret making it. Apparently, from what we've heard, a lot of the people involved in this movie did at least, the actors at least, had fun making it. And you know what? I can get it. Like, hell, who wouldn't have fun pretending like you're licking your own nether regions, rolling around in trash, or pretty much, just acting like a cat. Like, I'm sure plenty of people would love to get paid for doing that.
Yes,
I don't know. I think there are more productive ways of having fun.
I don't know. This is easy money.
Very easy money.
Okay, I guess.
Still wouldn't do it.
Really, Shiroi? You would turn down getting backed like a cat?
Is this like one of those press the button situation? You gain a lot of money, but in exchange you have to star in Cats.
Again, like Tia said, at the very least, thank goodness the singing's actually good.
Yeah, that's the thing. The only times the movie seems to have a bit of energy is when it's actually self-aware. What's the irony in that?
Bless Idris Elba, but... Okay, Idris Elba's the one I do have to ask the most. Why? Like, Elba, did you read the script?
Not to mention, Job, I think Diva also mentioned it, there's also a bit of washing, because the McCavity in the original musical was like, an orange cat, I think? So yeah, there's that too.
Oh boy.
Right.
Oh, now it's time for the twin song. Again, there's also the fact we're just jumping from place to place. The story has no time to breathe.
Also...
Well, didn't you say there wasn't a story anyway?
Well,
whatever story there is, Pedro, to be honest. Go on, Jova, sorry.
Look, just because there was a lack of story in the Cats musical doesn't mean there was a lack of structure. Like, it didn't...
I guess,
Let me put it like this. If there is a story in Cats the musical, the best way to describe it is very, very unorthodox. And like I said, for a musical, it worked. Obviously, that's not going to work for a movie, so I can get some liberties needing to be taken. The problem was that they did it in all the wrong ways they could. Again, except for at least hiring people who can sing.
Also, by the way, yeah, this reminds me, yes, this movie takes place in London, apparently.
Oh my god, I completely forgot.
But here's also another thing. Diva did mention in her review of it. The problem with this particular musical is that apparently the the director or whoever was assigning to actually adapting the musical sequences takes the lyrics literally. So every time they mention something, they had to also have an actual showcasing of what the actual lyric says. The problem is that most of these songs are about weird shit. So as you can see, the transitions towards each piece to piece is very schizophrenic.
I can only imagine how the actors' agents' meetings must have gone here. Wait, you mean I get to throw around huge versions of ladies' underwear and act like a cat? Sign me the hell up!
Yeah, actually, I forgot. Who played these twins? The Mungo Jerry and Rumpelstiltskin, or whatever they're called.
So, Shiroi, are you enjoying the plot?
No, I'm not enjoying any of this.
Plot. Well, there isn't any. That is like, okay, here's put it this way.
And I know I
Danny
brought this on
Collins-
myself, but I'm still going to say I'm not enjoying this.
Basically, Danny Collins and Nia Morgan.
Maybe it's
Okay.
the lack of meaning and clear message, but I don't like. It's interesting. So far, from what I'm hearing, this doesn't seem to be Andrew's best work in terms of the songs.
Look.
That's the thing, though. This was his first work. This is what put him on the map.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And look. I would argue that, yeah, look, I'm not going to act like the original musical is this amazing thing. Hell, a lot of people have pointed out some...
Sorry, I got it wrong. It wasn't his first work, but it did help him out of a hole.
It is definitely one of his most popular works, too. And again, look, I'm not going to blame the original musical on this, because look, they knew what they were getting into trying to make a movie adaptation of it. They knew the risks. And they have ended up representing the musical poorly. Heck, now that I think about it, are some of the songs even not as good as they were in the original? Okay. I do wonder if some of the instrumentation is a bit changed here and there. And like Teal mentioned, unfortunately, some of the lyrics are taken a little too literally, which sort of ruins their portrayal in the movie compared to how they were in there.
The general thing with this particular song, as you can imagine, is these two twins love to fuck shit up because, get it, they're cats. Funny.
I'll give the... Oh God, this movie already has me now giving the Wiz credit, but at least aside from one song, it didn't really change around the meanings of the songs here and there. For the most part, the songs were kept intact in their portrayal and their meaning and whatnot.
Oh, shit. Don't worry, Pedro, we're actually spared from seeing what the dog actually looks like, because Jesus fuck, I don't wanna see what it looks like.
It turns out the dog... Oh no, you know what, no.
No, the point is that our protagonist, there you go, is actually in danger, like here.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, like Teal mentioned, he's a cat, but suddenly the lady's shoes are just barely bigger than his feet. Like, what the heck?
What's with this guitar electronic?
Babies?
Okay.
Well, that happened.
Stop being horny, please.
Seriously.
That's said by me, by the way. Oh, fuck.
Like, seriously. Again. This movie is... Go on, Dubs.
By the way, audience, normally I rent these movies, for cheap factor. I couldn't do that for this film.
Enjoy
this
it,
movie
please.
will
Just
stay with you
like
forever.
One Princess Christmas.
So you had to buy this movie?
Yes.
Yeah. So this will forever be tainting my digital collection.
All right, time to show where the comic relief went. Yes.
Oh God, the Thames, one of the dirtiest rivers in the world.
Drink enough alcohol, Dwibs, and it'll become the stage show.
I don't have any.
Oh well.
Ray Winstone.
Yes, we get it. Oh my fuck.
Yeah. Ray Winstone as a cat.
Ugh.
I have to admit, I was expecting
Right.
a Freddy got from based on what people were saying about this movie. I was expecting a Freddy got finger tier level of painful.
Most of the problems are just in the presentation, Pedro.
Well, that's the thing
Honestly,
too. The presentation honestly doesn't bother me, so I guess I'm just kind of bored.
Good to know,
again,
good to know,
Pedro,
Pedro.
good for you. Good for you. Not as good for us.
Okay, I guess I'll just stay here and watch the fire. Watch the fire burn.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Thank you,
Ow.
Joker.
And now
Everything
the- yeah,
Java, everything
now the-
burns.
Now the movie, even when it's self-aware, stop even being funny. Fuck me.
Okay, so where do we go next?
Wherever the wind may take
I
us.
forgot. Did we mention who this gray cat? He's the one on the one. Yeah, this guy.
What's his name?
Ah, he did show up at
Oh
the.
boy, we're about to meet Old Deuteronomy.
Yeah, we're about.
Is she the one whose effects
Well-
clicks the most?
Oh, you know what? I guess, yeah, might as well bring up that bit here. So, yeah, as you know, Universal and company forced the VFX artists to, well, have to crunch terribly. And back to a point where there was hostility on the set. At least one anonymous effects artist has said that the relationship between director Tom Hooper and the effects team was less than amicable, to say it the least. In addition to the crew having to work a 90-hour week, yes, 90 hours in a week, it forced many of them to sleep at the studio in between shifts, and Hooper's limited knowledge on CGI and animation, well, it made it difficult for him to judge their work objectively. And among his frequent demands was footage of real cats performing the actions the actors would do in the movie. This was not helped by... Yeah?
Yes, like I said earlier, this isn't motion capture.
This was not helped by his apparent condescending attitude when he couldn't get the artist to understand what he wanted from them. The same artist referred to Hooper as demeaning. When you go into a conference room, you're not allowed to speak, and he talks to you like you're garbage. I get there may have been some stress, Hooper, but not cool. Not cool. And this was so bad that, believe it or not, there were some effects missing when this movie first came out here. To the point where the movie, as we mentioned, had to get Pats to include them in. There were literally some bouts where some people's hands weren't even covered with fur properly. It's just...
Oh, Judy, why?
Don't worry,
You're in
guys!
Skyfall like 7 years before.
Don't worry, guys! Don't worry, guys! After this, she's gonna be an Artemis Fowl. That's totally gonna be a step up, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, God. Judy, just... Look, Judy, it was bad enough when you were in one of the worst Disney animated movies of all time, but at least then we could say there was nowhere to go but up, but no, you found ways to go down deeper and deeper. Why? And you know what's sad? This uses her better than Artemis Fowl did still. Like, here, she still at least is a refined woman. Oh, there's Ian McKellen.
Also, yeah, there was Ian McKellen.
But in Artemis Fowl, she plays a gruff, cigar-chomping, well, okay, not cigar-chomping in the version, but still a gruff beat cop in Artemis Fowl here. And like, yeah, that worked about as well as you can imagine with Dame Judi Dench.
Alright, two things. One, I believe Old Deuteronomy was gender swapped in this movie. And two, Judi Dench was originally going to be in one of the performances of the original stage musical, but she suffered an injury.
So now she gets to have her dream come true with this movie.
I am so sorry.
So let me get this straight. We have gender swapping, we have race washing, and we also had, well, age washing, because like I mentioned, Grisabella is normally older, but here she's young and one of the
Can you
best
stop
looking
staring
cats.
at me? Also, get this, not just that, the gender swapping dweebs. Apparently, in the original musical, Old Deuteronomy was portrayed by none other than Brian Blessed, of all people.
Brian Blessed?
Yeah. One of the most notorious, one of the most positively driven, notorious theater actors and voice actors.
Why not just get him back for this movie?
Because
Also, there you go.
And he can't say he's old. You cast Judi Dench.
And also, there's our creepy song. Essentially, these Jellicle cats worship about this cult of a reincarnation, but it's more a glorified death cult where any cat that can perform well can be chosen to be taken into heaven, I guess.
Which will supposedly reincarnate them. Why?
I don't fucking know. Also,
Is this the furry cult all the mums keep warning us about?
Yes. Also, apparently found out that the original musical was also an adaptation of a simple book, a pamphlet book of 1939 by Thomas Stans Eliot, of all people, called All Possum Books of Practical Cats.
Huh. What does Jellicle even mean?
Also, the character I was referring to before, Dweebs, is called Mooncostrap, I think, and he's portrayed in this movie by Robbie Fairchild.
So, seriously, Shiroi, what does Jellicle mean?
The hell should I know?
Isn't that a Gaelic word or something?
I don't know. You're the cat expert. You saw the musical. You tell us.
I don't know what it means.
Basically, it's literally a made-up term. And
Also,
I believe it or not, that it wasn't the Andrew Lloyd Webber made up. That was T.S. Eliot's.
All right, everybody, big stretch.
Wait, so what you're saying is that Jellicle is completely original to the movie, Dwibs?
Not just the movie, but the original book.
No. T.S. Eliot made it up in the book.
Oh, I thought this was a stage play.
So,
but it was an adaptation of a book, apparently.
A book, but then it became a stage. But then Andrew Lloyd Webber adapted it for the stage.
Okay, so so I don't know if it was mentioned in the book, but the movie does not explain what Jellicle means. Like, and look, I get it. Sometimes
I thought it was the name of a community, the Jellicle Cats.
Well, yes, that is their name, but they also use it as a noun, an adjective, a verb, and everything. So, like, what is Jellicle supposed to be?
Is it just a nonsense word at this point?
I thought it was a synonymous for, like, joyful or something.
Joyful about wanting to die.
Again, death cult.
It's not explained at all, and Judy, dear God,
Let
Judy.
me see.
And okay. So the reason that they reject Grisabelle is because she went with McCavity. That's it. Like, what? Did McCavity do something that disgraced her? Did they con people or something? It's just, she went with McCavity and now we hate her. Yet, it seems like McCavity is more accepted by these people.
Also,
so what
does this count as a cat orgy at this point?
Sure.
Probably.
Jesus Christ, you know what? I thought
and you can hear it. The score is trying so hard to say, "Look, guys, be amazed," but no.
Again. Just imagine. You're a parent. You take your kids to see this movie, thinking it's going to be family fun enjoyment, and then you see nearly naked people licking themselves and practically having an orgy.
What was the age rating for this movie?
PG.
That's like
PG.
It's the Dark Universe, Shiroi. It's the movie we were missing from it.
Like, okay, look. So, Tia, which do you think is weirder? With The Wiz being rated G or this being rated PG?
Oh,
wait, suddenly we went 80s on this.
Yeah, because
Shiroi,
the performances have started, I think.
And yes, Scoops?
Shiroi, this film's rated U.
No. Whoever in the rating section of America did this, please reconsider your job.
No, that's the UK rating.
Yeah.
Of UK, sorry, whatever.
In America, it's rated PG.
Maybe they rated it that low as a sick joke.
And it says contains very mild threat, rude humor, and language. Where's
No.
horniness?
Yeah, seriously. Like,
Where's the nudity?
Maybe this is the same person who gave a PEGI-free rating to Crash to Insanity.
Did they see the glitched version and think that was their clothes?
also,
John,
why-
to answer
Sorry,
your
go on,
question,
Tilo.
I will say the Wiz because, again, you remove the Uncanny Valley factor, and this is just a mediocre to okay movie, nothing too special. It's the Uncanny Valley
that's my
can
thing.
fuck you up. The Wiz, it's just a mess on all of its aspects.
Yeah, since I'm not bothered by the presentation personally, I can so far this is just a big ball of nothing. To be honest with you, it's shit. It's people doing weird shit, and I don't really know what's going on. Basically, so
I think that okay. I'd argue that's a bit of a worse problem, though. See, that's the thing. Cats is sort of partly based on its visuals here and there. When you screw up the visuals as big as this movie has, you've ruined a lot of the substance to it, because let's be honest, the visuals are the main thing to it. That's why I still argue it's still got the job done even worse than The Wiz. Because The Wiz at least did try to have some bouts of substance, and it did have some interesting ideas that it added to the mix. This, any ideas it added are just god-awful, and anything it tried to reclaim from the original, it's absolutely bastardized. It's just kind of incredible. And and yet,
Sorry,
like
go on.
Tio mentioned, the music is really trying. Like, shoot, it's actually starting to sound enjoyable.
Again, it's a shame we don't know who was actually credited for these rearrangements.
Like, imagine about where your ears are being sent to heaven, but your other senses are being sent to hell. That's pretty much what this is.
It's just like an episode of Saint Seiya.
Was it good for you?
The alcohol, yes.
Okay.
They all seem like they passed out from an
Next
orgy. Oh, but
All right,
Grisabella's still.
I think we're having the
dead.
second Grisabella song.
And yet,
I wish I
that's
was watching. I wish I was watching Encanto right now, actually, because Isabella's some. I don't know. Sorry.
that
I'm
was
just
very,
I'm sorry,
loosely
I'm just-
tied to this.
In fact, yeah, I could be watching a much better musical right now. Actually, that now, okay, now I'm starting to get sad. Not
Oh,
because of the
just
movie, but
okay.
because of what I could be watching instead.
I think
I think this is the most famous song from the musical. Memory.
Yeah, which is translating to Oscar baiting, like I
So-
mentioned.
Yeah, it is.
Are we at least going to see more into our backstory about why supposedly going with McCavity made everyone turn their backs on her?
It's just a matter of you slept once with a bad guy, you're completely ostracized, ruined forever.
Oh goody,
Which-
slut shaming. Like, that's just what I need. And again, it feels like they reject her more than they reject McCavity.
Also, I guess in a way, in a ironic, unwanted way, it does reflect a lot of today's society, where a lot of people, get ostracized by radical thinking.
I guess. No, I'm not even going to give this movie a point for that.
No, it's unwanted and unfounded.
And, like, okay, I'll be honest. At this point, it feels like we should be getting near the climax at this point. Like, okay, we're doing the competition,
We're just
apparently.
halfway through.
But we're only halfway through. And this
We will
is
need
where,
more. We'll need more hemp before we're through.
and this is where the runtime problem comes into hand here.
Don't
Like-
you mean the runtime tagger time thing?
The
Rum
Rum Tum
Tum
Tugger time. Like, seriously, though, close to 2 hours can be a lot to
You're
ask for.
beautiful now. These lyrics are completely butt fucked by the
Again,
visuals.
again,
Yeah,
it makes...
that's the thing, though.
Okay,
it's
beautiful
like-
in a
like-
relative way, but
It's like
She's
it's like
the
Jova
cutest
said.
of them. Go on,
It's
Sid.
like Jova said. In the original, Grisabella was a lot older. Jennifer Hudson was 38 when this came out.
And
again,
she
remove the
looks
uncanny
like she's
valley.
20.
In universe, for the standards of a movie, she's not ugly compared to the other cats.
Again, I'd argue she's the best looking of them. Like, again, something's wrong when your visuals don't convey your story well.
This is starting to sound like to sound like a horrible live-action adaptation of Cow and Chicken's mock-up musical, The Ugliest Weenie.
Okay.
Except it's put put seriously instead of for laughs.
And
Like-
and you'll come to think of it, why is Old Deuteronomy okay with this? Like, she's the one in charge. Couldn't she just tell everyone, hey,
and
knock it off?
spoilers, and spoiler alert, she knows about the fact that Grisabella is not really in fault here. And yet she still goes along because them's the rules.
It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
And
my
we go to another
sisters-
song.
Yeah, my
That's-
sisters, Isabel and Louisa. Anyway, here's how it goes. In The Ugliest Weenie, it's literally the story of a weenie that's like all wrinkly and all that stuff, and as a result, it never gets picked to be eaten. But then the news and a lot of the other weenies make fun of that weenie, which is why I'm drawing a comparison to this. But then at the end, you see all the weenies being eaten by the humans and crying about how it's, and I'm quoting right now, it's good to be ugly after all, and that's supposedly the moral. It's good to be ugly after all, because you don't get eaten.
So, Victoria, what home are you even offering Grisabella to come back with you to? The movie literally opened up with
technically a
you
stranger
being...
yourself, yeah.
Yeah, the movie literally opened up with your owner dumping you on the street and making you homeless, so... I'm guessing this just made sense more than the musical at this point. I know the general structure of the musical, but I don't know all the specifics about it.
Okay, I'll be honest. From what I've seen of Francesca Hayward's in this movie, she is a fine ballet dancer,
But singing-wise...
and acting-wise, to be honest, she's not.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if this was supposed to be her breaking out role, because she has a very small filmography, but not much. This is
she
the
probably-
first.
I mean,
I
she
know.
probably just went back to the Royal Ballet.
I mean, I will never understand stage musicals that get a main leading actor who can't sing for crap.
Can you even imagine if they delayed the movie a bit more accidentally and we ended up never releasing it in theaters because of a pandemic?
Would that
The
have
absolute
been...
rarity. Universal making it streaming only and people freaking the fuck out in mass.
Oh God!
That would have been the quickest way to get people out of cinemas when the pandemic started. Just have all the films be this.
replaced
People would
by
run out.
cats.
Oh yeah! Suddenly people would have been rushing back home.
Yeah, because the only film is Cats.
That or they'd be rushing to the nearest pub, because you know what? This is the kind of movie that makes you feel like you're drunk, makes you wish you were drunk.
I'm actually getting there, Jova, don't worry. This is a promise, I swear.
Honestly, you're holding up stronger than I thought you would. I thought you were actually going
Like I
to
said,
be
Jova, like I said, Jova, off crowd commentary, I'm not in the same condition I was with the finale of
True.
What
Also-
happened after this?
Forgot
What
the
happened
name.
after this
Fuck.
film? What happened after this film for Hayward was that she was going to debut as Odette in Swan Lake, but the pandemic happened.
Wait, what?
the stage play of the
Yeah, Swan Lake is the ballet.
Okay. For a
It's a
moment,
Russian ballet.
for a moment, I thought you were saying that this actress went on to be the main star of those movies. Can you
Pedro,
imagine?
apologies, I forgot already the name. What was the game that I got plastered on?
Fairy Fencer F.
Fencer F.
All right, thank you.
The alcohol's already starting to take effect.
It's all a memory so far, Jova. I'm not weak.
The memories.
I'm not weak. I'm not weak.
Please, no.
Yes, sir.
Please don't invoke that here. This whole scenario is bad enough, okay?
Yeah, actually, you know what, Shiroi? I'm going to disagree with you. Infinite would have made this movie better.
Yeah.
I agree with Reeves.
He just comes in to decimate
Infinite was
everyone.
wonderful.
The Phantom Ruby Beach.
Infinite was wonderfully cold, edgy, and corny and cheesy. This doesn't even have that. If Infinite were a meal, he would be deliciously cheesy. If this were a meal, it would have bouts of hair that get stuck on the tongue all the time. It would be that terrible a meal.
It's like a fish that you forgot to actually remove the bones from. It's very unpleasant and you don't want to eat it.
You know what the word Jellicle feels like? Jellicle feels like a word that they put when they literally can't think of anything else.
Time for Ian McKellen's cat song. again, he's actually one of the best things about the movie because it's Ian McKellen. Thankfully, you can put him in any situation, he will still improve things out.
Wow, Dwibs, Gandalf reincarnated as a cat in the future, I see.
Poor Gandalf. He survived. He survived two major wars. Being spun around like a record player by his former best friend, and now he's reincarnated into this. I'm not sure he can cope.
The worst thing about this also for me is that around this point, the usual go-to voice actor who voiced Ian McKellen in almost all of his roles had passed away. So I dare to imagine what this character actually sounds like in the Italian dub.
Actually, I should probably mention a little fun fact about the dubs for this movie.
Oh no.
Believe it or not, the Japanese dub was one of the few foreign translations with an official dub. Because, well, a lot of countries did not get a dub for this movie. Due to being a musical, most countries did not dub this movie, even those where dubbing is mandatory by law.
Yeah, some countries like mine that have to dub everything. That means sometimes rearranging the songs, which means a lot of times they don't work as intended.
Let me put it
Mostly
like this.
Disney movies.
The Cats musical is popular in Japan.
Let me put it like this. Brazil has a dub for the spoken parts only. The sung parts are all in English.
Yeah, sometimes it happens.
I'm guessing they're subbed appropriately, though.
Yes, that's usually the thing that happens.
That said, though, rejoice, Tio, your country was one of the few exceptions that did actually get a dub.
Like I said, we tend to do this kind of thing anyway.
Did your country enjoy this movie?
I haven't seen it yet with Italian dub. Quite frankly, I'm not sure I want to know.
I just love the irony that this movie about cats was so bad that it got the original creator of the musical to get a therapy dog to cope. Like, you cannot make this stuff up.
Also, we talked about everyone being horny. Old Deutheronomy is salivating for this guy.
Well, Judy Dench.
I mean, I know it's Ian
McKellen.
McKellen, but you should know, at this point he's basically a couple with Patrick Stewart. Come on.
Okay, if there is one thing holding Ian McKellen back, though, unfortunately, he can't sing.
This is a very boring disaster.
It's one of those an actor can act, but when it comes to singing, it's more like he's just talking.
Okay, so I guess to be fair, that previous scene we saw of all the cats doing the orgy dance wasn't quite the Jellicle competition yet, I guess, so maybe we're not quite close to the climax. All the same, still, this movie feels like it's been on for too long now.
Yeah.
Only 1 hour so far.
Oh boy.
I didn't realize it dragged on this much.
Again,
Which is
Shiroi,
weird. I mean, was the original musical just this long as well, or was it longer?
Musicals are usually like 2 hours.
Yeah, that's
maybe
what
more.
I mean. Like, I was a bit surprised that this movie was this short. Wait, it's not even 2 hours. I was under the impression it would be like 2 hours at least.
Don't worry, it feels like 3.
I also like, in theory, this particular song because it's about this cat who lives in a theater, so he gets to experience the bizarreness of the art.
Apparently, it was 2 hours and 20 minutes, which sounds about right for a musical.
Yeah, now that is the one that I was expecting. Like, I mean, why not?
Hamilton
was about 3 hours.
So I'm guessing they cut a lot of crap from the original.
No, that's the thing.
No,
They just had
didn't.
just the songs in quick succession, like you said. I get the idea, but it was supposed to be just a bit more between each piece to transition better, you know.
Like, here's the
But
thing,
that's
though.
it.
What was cut out was more so the spoken dialogue from the original. The songs are more or less all intact.
So basically, they cut out all the story from it.
It's like a visual representation of a CD of the actual musical.
Okay. Let me put it like this. As I've hinted at before, the original musical is kind of more like just an extended chat session between all these cats. Like I said, it's cats being cats. And again, something like that can work for a musical. Like I mentioned, the problem is just the matter of trying to sculpt a good narrative to keep people invested for a movie of this caliber here and there. Not to say it can't be done.
All right, hold on. So what Old Deutheronomy has to say about this? Oh my fuck!
Whoa! Oh, Judi Dench racing some leg there.
Huh. Jesus.
Ugh.
I just saw Cat Judi Dench showing off to Ian McKellen as a cat.
Don't get me wrong, everybody. Those of you out there who like your grandma porn, yes, that's a thing. That's fine, but I don't care for it.
That's the man. Okay, I'm surprised. It's 1 hour in, we haven't gone for the low denominator joke. Don't worry, I will not mention it. If it doesn't happen until the end, I will.
In fact, while I'm at it, I might as well say something like, basically, I've seen plenty of costume design like this in porn parodies. So trust me, but like, there's a lot of live action porn parodies that have costume design that's like on this level of uncanny.
What was with that line bit just then? McCavity!
Again, I wonder what Idris... Wait, hold on. So is this the competition, or is this them prepping for
Yes,
the competition?
now it's the competition. The next one is Skimble Shanks, the railway cat, I think, played by Stephen McCry, I think.
So basically, McCavity's...
From what I've heard, Stephen McCry's character and his performance, from what I heard, is actually one of the better ones regarded by fans of the musical.
I have to say, McCavity's plan doesn't really have a lot of good focus to it. Wouldn't it have been a better plan to start kidnapping these people well in advance of the competition rather than right before, or in some cases, after their performances? Which may hurt your chances of winning still, my dude.
There it is.
He looks like someone who came straight out of a strip club for some reason.
I was about to mention instead, with that attire, he kind of looks like Freddie Mercury.
I want to break free.
Yeah, me too.
What is happening?
The movie job.
Remember, basically, they're putting on the performance, thinking about who they are and what they do.
And this cat is about trains.
And hope it will impress Old Deuteronomy enough that she'll let them
die.
This is the most boring furry porno I've ever seen.
I didn't know you'd seen more.
I have, actually.
Well, I guess that's the plus side. At least it doesn't arouse me.
It's not my thing, either, Tail, but I have dabbled into it here and there.
My condolences.
No. Well, it was my own free will, Tail. I have nobody but myself. So. Well, Tail, gotta try it first before you tell it's not for you.
So, again, like I asked before, what decides which cats wear these clothes or not?
I don't know.
Heck, we've even seen some cats literally strip out of their clothes, or in Rebel Wilson's case, her skin, so...
Hey, look, Dubes, there's the Big Ben. Stony London, mate.
Yeah, what a beautiful, poorly chroma keyed picture of Big Ben.
Tonight on Squirm Gears, I get
plastered.
Hey,
it's the Hogwarts Express.
Shiroi commits tax evasion to spite the Queen of England, and Dweebs crashes into a railway car.
Well, look at the bright side, Dweebs. This is not being destroyed like it happens in so many works of fiction.
Well, that's a thing to you. That's a Pedro, sorry. If I wanted to watch a film in which London doesn't get destroyed, I'd watch Eternal Diva.
Well, it doesn't even take place in London.
No. It does have that one scene in London.
At the beginning, but that's barely any of it.
It's still better than this.
Well, no shit.
I mean,
also, why did the music play Crash Bandicoot for a second?
That'd be a scary thought. A level 5 product being worse than Cats.
Okay. I'll say this. For as terrible as this movie is, I don't hate the performances, and I don't necessarily hate the songs. Because I'll admit, no, a lot of these performances could work as their own individual music videos here and there. Just please give the actors better costumes. But I mean, okay, the production values... The production values outside of the god-awful looks aren't the worst.
I forgot, you mentioned it already, maybe. Did Spielberg's original concept involve it being a 2D animated movie?
Yes.
Why didn't they do that?
That doesn't
Because
surprise
Because Hollywood looks down upon animated movies these days.
Okay. To be fair, I can see. I mean, remember, like if one of the most common types of characters we see in cartoons are cat characters.
No, that's exactly what I meant, Pedro. Why didn't they do that instead of this?
Yeah, that's a really good question.
Because for whatever reason, the cinema industry, and it's not even just Hollywood. This is all over the world. For whatever reason, movie moguls are under the impression that something being live action automatically makes it more appealing, and I don't understand why.
And you know what's a thing?
Okay then.
He literally did it right in front of her. I mean, sure, he didn't show his face, but still.
That's because I think next up is about Idris Elba's character song. Yeah, Macavity.
Even they know it's him. Like I said, his plan does not really have much focus.
Alright, the villain song usually tends to be one of the best things about movies, so please tell me this is good at the very least. Yeah, I'm with you there, buddy.
So is this Taylor Swift?
No, it's Idris Elba, I think. Oh, actually, no, you're right, Lives.
Oh yeah, Taylor Swift was in this movie.
She's actually singing about him
and
instead.
Holy cow, Jesus! I thought Miley Cyrus's wrecking ball thing looked provocative. This. Oh.
Yeah, give me some candy, please. I need it.
So is this a movie that actually knows what Catnip does, or?
Well, take a well guess, Drover.
Okay, movie. You don't need to put them on drugs. I think the actors are already there.
So,
They're literally showering with
Shiroi,
fucking drugs.
From what you've witnessed, are these the effects that catnip normally has on cats?
No, it's usually more of a drunk effect.
Well, here it makes them, what a shock, more horny.
They're already horny. They don't need any more.
And you see, it's about teasing the inner sensation. He's not Ginger in this movie. Fuck off.
They couldn't change that one line.
Stick to your lyrics or change them if you have to.
I guess it turns out that the twins were also working with Macavity too.
Not just see, Joe, it's the fact that they cause chaos and everything. So.
I thought they were just being dicks.
You know, at the very least, in Harry Potter 4, the whole Dumbledore-esque calmly, it was something about the narration of the book, so you can be excusing saying that it was a thing that the movie was not compelled to actually replicate. It's literally in the lyrics.
Please don't yell at me.
Plus, I mean, the whole plus that bit in Harry Potter 4 makes sense. You know, wild shit happened that wasn't expected.
So how do you think the agent talked with Taylor Swift would? Okay, Taylor, I know you don't often do movies, but I tell you this one's a winner. You have to dress up provocatively like a cat, act like you're in a Run Girls stripper show, and sing about how great Idris Elba is as another naked cat called Macavity. Well, in that case I have to say, sign me the hell up! Like, seriously, I want to know how every agent meeting went for every actor in this movie. Was it literally just about, hey, you don't have to do much, just act sexually provocative as a naked cat, and we'll pay you?
Brilliant.
Oh my god, wait, hold on! Oh, I think I saw an effects fail with one of the hands not being fur-covered.
Does Taylor have any acting, experience,
I don't think so.
Let me see. Man.
Does this count as her performance or Macavity's?
It's about Macavity, but she's the one singing.
The villain doesn't even get to sing his own song.
The character is called Bumbalurina. Okay, Job, we have better experience with him. Can Idris Elba sing effectively?
Yes! Oh, yes, he can. Idris Elba's the full package.
Any examples?
Oh, God, I don't really have any on hand, but I do know that he has sung before.
Oh, great. Great. She was in... Wait, Taylor Swift was herself in the Jonas Brothers and the Anna Montana movies?
Of course.
What?
They're kind of a shared universe.
This is her only major movie she's been, particularly. Otherwise, it's mostly about either herself or documentaries about her life. Oh, there he is.
You're not Moriarty.
Okay. I'm sure Idris Elba is out to a lot of people, but please don't shove it in my face. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, Idris Elba is an actor, writer, producer, DJ, rapper, and singer. So, yeah, he
Fair
can do
enough.
all that.
Why does he have to be naked for this sequence? Just a
I
genuine
prefer the
question.
coats, honestly. Like, that's the thing. I prefer it when the cats have coats on to give them the sense of different furs or hierarchy and whatnot.
Oh,
And because that's
please
arguably
help.
probably closer to how the original musical did it.
Okay,
But I guess
this
now
is a
he at least gets to sing.
genuine dilemma on my part. I'm not sure, in terms of pain factor, if I should watch in a dire situation either this or the Woody Woodpecker movie in terms of Universal products with bad reputation.
That is a tough pick,
I guess the
Pedro.
Woody Woodpecker movie is a worse story, I guess.
Yes, Joker.
Which is worse, this or the Woody Woodpecker movie?
Honestly, I found that boring as well. I didn't find nearly as painful.
Fair
as it was.
enough.
Honestly, I didn't even mind. Like one thing I will give.
Oh my
that
god, I
movie
can
is
see
that-
the makeup fading on his face. Sorry, go on, Pedro.
One thing I will give that movie, it made Woody look pretty much exactly like you'd expect a live action Woody to look like. So I guess I'll give it that.
Again, Taylor Swift cat, what do you get out of helping this guy anyway?
And he kidnaps he kidnaps Old Deutheronomy entirely. Please don't kidnap Judi Dench.
I mean, okay, I'll be fair.
Alright, you two are
I'll
still
be-
in the movie, I forgot.
Okay, I'll be fair to Taylor Swift. I'm not normally a fan of her songs, but she's at least acting decently.
Sure. Okay, to be fair, yes, she's acting decently. However, I'd argue that acting for this movie is not hard. Like, what do you have to do? Act
Yar.
catty?
Apparently this is a pirate movie now. Movie, I'm not distraught or tense right now. Stop it, please.
They literally busted out the choir there.
Yeah,
Oh, wait, she's gone.
all's going
I never
hard.
noticed
Like-
that.
So
I love how they're
did
going to pretend this is all serious right now.
okay, that's the thing. How will the characters try to rescue Old Deuteronomy? That's a good dilemma.
How
I mean,
about some magic?
As long as I don't have to hold hands with anyone, I'm fine, I guess.
Clap your hands if you believe in all that.
Oh,
I mean, why not?
I don't believe in cats.
If we were watching the pre-patch version, they'd probably just glitch her back to here.
I still can't believe a movie needed a patch.
Also,
Yeah,
okay,
day one
I love about this. Mr. Mistopheles can do some basic tricks, and they thought, great, he's a wizard now. He can do this magic and rescue Old Deuteronomy.
I don't think he had magical powers in
Well,
the musical.
We've seen... Oh, in the musical, yeah. Shoot, did McCavity even have magical powers in the original musical?
I don't know.
That's what I meant, Joe. I meant the cavity.
Oh, thought you were talking about Mephisto or Mephistopheles or... Why
Mr.
did they...
Mistopheles.
Why
Like I
did
mentioned
they
before,
give him
Joe,
a
I
name?
don't know. He's supposed to be a good character, but he has this very wicked kind of name about it. Almost as if he was supposed to be a betrayer or anything, but no. He's generally just a good guy from the beginning to the end.
I guess there's supposed to be a bit of irony or maybe something that the movie left out from the musical that explains the irony.
But again, a lot of the cats' names are a bit like... remember, the original book was written in 1939, so I guess Thomas Stearns Eliot's process was, let's give quirky names to this character that sounds fun if read out loud. You know, like Mungo Jerry, Bustopher Jones, and stuff like that. I'm just getting a migraine just by thinking about this.
Is it
Oh,
the movie
man.
or the booze?
Yes, Trova, I need more. Thank you for your suggestion.
Oh my god, his hands, guys, his hands!
No, that's some creepy
Those were
shit.
human hands.
That's really creepy shit.
Jesus.
You, the master hands laugh? I don't know.
Like, no, his
God, what
hands
is
look
this?
blatantly human there, like...
There's a clear, again, it's the Uncanny Valley effect, but in reverse. So there's a clear effect established by the movie now, the CGI ends move. So when the real life ends comes out, it's so jarring.
Congrats, you managed to make the real-life stuff look uncanny against the actual Uncanny Valley stuff.
I don't know, this movie is making you question reality. This is really a Dark Universe contestant.
Shoot, yeah, this is actually more terrifying than some of the Dark Universe stuff, too.
Can we have can we replace this movie with 1 hour and 49 minutes of Tom Cruise screaming? That would be great.
Hey guys, I get that it's a song and everything, but shouldn't time be of the essence? And yes, I know that they don't know that she's being pushed off of a plank of wood, but they were acting all eager about getting her back, and now they're just okay to listen to this guy sing around. And I get it, musical and whatnot, but he's not doing anything while he's singing. He's just standing and doing nothing while singing.
I mean, could you imagine if they wasted, if in universe they wasted so much time with this, when we then come back to the barge, Old Deuteronomy, we see Old Deuteronomy's corpse floating around in the Thames.
Oh, great, the
funny.
mice, just what we needed.
Can you stop?
Yeah, I'd want to run after seeing the mice.
You know, when you don't, they were acting so serious about Deuteronomy being gone, and yet now it's like, we got time to sing, what ifs?
This goes on for some time. Yes, Lives, I understand. Yeah, I should also get a
I don't even need alcohol.
I'm doing it for you, don't worry. For the record, Shira, in case you're wondering, the bottle is almost empty.
Well,
I'm sorry.
No, don't be. My liver deserves it.
Out of curiosity, what kind of alcohol are you having?
I said at the beginning, oh, fuck me. Dweebs. Mint flavored vodka. Let me see the percentage.
Wait.
18%.
Wonderful.
Is that higher or lower than the Rotten Tomatoes for this movie?
Oh, I never checked it. Let me see. Gave you the look. 20? I already started having doubts with Eternals, but I am gonna say, fuck Rotten Tomatoes. I'm taking their scores only at a glance like that.
It really is rotten, Well,
again, actually, okay, two things. One is actually 19%. And,
I guess Wikipedia did not adjust that, Ben.
And two, again, remember, Rotten Tomatoes isn't an indicator of the rating isn't inherently an indicator of quality. It's just aggregating how many critics liked it compared to who didn't. And also,
don't worry.
Yeah,
I love the critics' consensus of this movie. Despite its formidable cast, this Cats adaptation is a colourful mistake that will leave most viewers begging to be put out of their misery.
You know what? Fuck this. I'm getting another shot just for these. Oh, there we go. They managed to do it off screen.
Yeah.
They just got her back.
Wait. Come on, movie. Surely you had enough budget to provide the magic for her coming back in. So, I guess the day is saved?
Thanks to the Powerpuff Girls.
No, Tia. The Powerpuff Girls took one look at this and went, yeah, nope, not our problem.
No, John, that's the secret, Cap. It's the 2016 version.
We've got 27 minutes left.
Wait. I'm sorry. Were cards just shooting out of his chest?
No, it was the hat.
Hard to tell.
Go ahead, Pedro.
No, Taylor makes up a good point. Like the 2016 versions of the characters probably would.
I mean, that show is already creepy as fuck. Might as well add the Uncanny Valley factor to it.
But yeah, Dwibs does raise a good point. What can be done more in 27 minutes left?
And where did McCavity go?
Well, last
think
we
it's
saw,
on
he
the-
was on that boat about to
the
push her
boat,
off, so...
Again, we don't even see Old Deuteronomy puffing away from it.
What?
Hey, cool story, bro.
So, I guess
Stop! Stop!
Okay.
Be-
Okay. You want to know what's sad, honestly? Despite Victoria supposedly being the main character of this movie, it feels more like Mephisto is the main hero of this, actually.
I think this escape from the boat thing is also made up for them. No.
Okay, and here's a problem. It's actually used in stories, so yeah. Also, why didn't you do that before?
You're not funny, movie. Stop!
She's literally a crazy cat lady. Why?
Ew.
Oh,
The movie is just losing his sanity as well.
Never have it.
You know what? Fuck this. Fuck reality. Let's enjoy chaos and destroy each other together.
Why is the
Chaos,
music going as
chaos.
hard as it is?
Jova, introduce a little anarchy, and everything becomes chaos.
Yeah, you know
You
what?
know what?
Maybe, just maybe, the Joker was onto something. I don't know.
wait, guys.
See, Teo, I'm not a monster. I'm just ahead of the curve.
Wait, guys. The Joker was
One
like. Don't you see? The Joker secretly funded this thing to drive everyone insane.
And as you know, remember comic book stuff, and only I know, but still, the Joker still has a higher moral ground because at least he's not a Nazi.
Yes.
Oh, he hates Nazis from what I've heard.
Yes.
Crossover with Captain America, hilarious because he literally turns on the red skull when he finds out he's an actual Nazi.
Yeah.
Also, I think this is a proper version of Memory coming up.
I mean, look, Grisabella's the best singer in this, so maybe she can salvage this.
I mean, I don't think I've heard too much of Jennifer Hudson's singing or acting, for that matter. But from what I've heard, she is legit.
You know what? If she was trying to salvage this movie, my hat goes off to her. Like, trust me, trying to salvage this is a Herculean task. Granted, I do wonder, though. From all we've heard from the actress, it sounds like they had fun making this movie, so maybe to them this was all fun and they thought it was going to turn out fine. It's just that, well, they couldn't see the finished product until it was too late. I wonder. What do you think, Shiroi?
Thinking, that's a good term. Right now.
Yeah,
You can still think after seeing this movie, right? It hasn't done the irreparable damage, has it?
listen, I regret.
You brought this onto yourself, lady.
Congratulations,
Yes.
you played yourself.
You
I
made your
did.
bed-
I
you-
really
you-
did.
You made your bed, lady. Now lie in it.
I still prefer the bicycle metaphor from my country.
Life can't make me.
So, yeah, it's time for
Now it's time
Grisabella's
for Grisabella's
redemption.
third song.
Again, you know what? To be fair, she's the best singer in this movie, so more of her I can take.
Let me see if there was any
Sure.
kind of another nomination other than the Razzies. Dorian Golden Globe for Best Original Song. The Taylor Swift song? Really? Grammy for the Beautiful Ghost song. And the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Award for Taylor. Why is Taylor Swift the person nominated for the most outside of the Razzies?
Honestly, if anything, okay, look, despite it being obvious Oscar bait, I think if anyone deserves the awards, it is still Jennifer Hudson. If we did have to give this movie an award, it should be given to Jennifer Hudson. That's not to say the other actors...
At least that attempt was made this gold star.
Pretty much. And look, I won't say like the other actors weren't trying. They clearly were, but no. Jennifer Hudson is probably the only one who was able to make this feel like it could have been good. Well, we judged...
I was beautiful. What the hell are you talking about?
You're still a knockout compared to everyone else in this movie, honey. Maybe they were jealous of her, but no, they treat her like she's old and withered, and look at her! Even with the god-awful makeup, she does not look old and withered.
Again, it's so weird because sometimes the movie decides to take the songs literally, but other times decides to do fuck all, despite maintaining the same lyrics.
And again, what? Because she went off with McCavity? So what?
Again, I wonder if this was a thing in the original book because 1939, so stuff like infidelity or going on with a criminal was like a stain onto your persona or something, some shit like that.
And if that's the case, this is something that they should have changed. Like, look.
Well, again, I will say this: at the very least, the message of the movie is literally rejecting this at the end, but it's the premise, the problem.
Yeah. That said, this song is good to listen to. Like,
it's probably other than the prelude right at the beginning of the film. This is probably the best adapted of the songs that I've heard.
Honestly, a lot of this music I'd probably have an easier time listening to if, well, you know, everything else didn't exist. What?
Yes, Moby, I know that I should be moved, but I can't.
Look,
this movie's been going all over the place, and now it wants us to care.
Oh, it always wanted us to care. It's just that, again, it's human-looking naked people doing orgy-like things.
Again, I'm surprised Netflix was not the one behind this, but instead it was Comcast.
I'm starting to regret not picking Faladay. Just so...
Oh! So
okay, Pedro, I don't like this movie, but I would not wish these characters the cruelty in that movie.
Also, Pedro, Faladay wouldn't have worked because it's not... it wasn't released in December, and last I checked, it doesn't have anything to do with Christmas or even winter, so it...
I don't mean for now, I mean for earlier.
I really want to enjoy this song. Jennifer Hudson's belting it, but I can't get past the effects.
Like, that is really the thing. Even when I'm trying my hardest just to listen to the music. I can enjoy the music, but I'm still seeing everything else. The goggles don't do anything.
The goggles, they do nothing. I also noticed a small jiggling on her, despite everything.
Oh yeah,
let me get this straight. The Japanese games are not allowed to have any more jiggle physics, but this is acceptable.
Double
America is fucked up, man.
There's a little blurb on the Wikipedia page. Basically, it says the film is significantly panned by critics who criticized its visual effects, editing, cat design, acting performances, plot, and screenplay. Although some praise Swift's performance, certain visual aspects of the production design, the soundtrack, as well as Hudson's rendition of Memory.
Okay, that at least seems to check out.
Still, why Jennifer Hudson of all people being praised the most out of the entire performance?
Like I said to you, she is the best singer in this movie.
Everybody.
Yeah, like she's the best singer, she's the best...
Sorry, I was mentioning Taylor Swift, the one I mentioned before.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Taylor Swift...
Sorry, my bad.
Taylor Swift is... Okay, I'm gonna say
she's fine, but I don't understand why her in particular.
I guess to be fair, a lot of the people here do seem a bit awkward with the singing. Not to say that they're all bad, but I guess in terms of the scenes that came the closest to working, hers was one of them. Probably helps that she got the villain song.
Congratulations, Grisabella. You are allowed to... You are my permission today.
So, is this why Deuteronomy never stopped them from picking on her? Because she knew, oh, that'll just make her a perfect candidate to die and live a better life. Like, if that's the case, you are genuinely horrible.
Can you? I know it's supposed to be a cute,
my.
heartwarming moment, but it's still creepy as fuck.
I just don't get it. How do you make a movie that's meant for the whole family and somehow make 99% of the scenes look like people are gonna do it right there and then?
Would it surprise you guys to?
Oh yeah.
Would it surprise you guys to know that a lot of people consider this to be one of the worst films ever made?
No, duh.
I'm gonna be with Pedro on this one. I don't think it's the worst movie ever made. There are far
I can
worse.
think of plenty of movies that are
There
worse
are
than this
far
one, to
worse
be honest with
entries
you.
that can overthrow this movie in general. So I will be like that. Not worth it.
I'll agree with Dwibs. It's not the worst, but it is one of the worst because it's one of those movies where pretty much no scene works. That makes it a contender for one of the worst. Again,
well, Joe, but there's plenty of movies like that.
Well, yeah, and guess what? They suck too, but this is among one of the worst of them, as far as I'm concerned.
I'll say something else.
But yes, to you?
It shares the,
no. Whatever I will say, I'll save it for the point thoughts because it's gonna be more relevant for that.
It shares the Wikipedia list among such classics as Disaster Movie, Birdemic, Jack and Jill, among many, many others. And the most recent one was this Polish erotic drama film called 365 Days from 2020.
Freddy Got Fingered is way worse than this.
Yeah.
Well, no, duh, Freddy Got... Look, Pedro, even you yourself said that Freddy Got Fingered kind of transcends the bounds of what we consider to be a movie, even.
Yeah.
Like Isabella.
Like, yeah, I mean, okay, look, yes, Freddy Got Fingered is a worse movie than this. Freddy Got Fingered is a worse movie than a lot of things. Like I said, this isn't the worst, it's one of the worst.
It also, there's also another, once again, the primary factor that I always would resort to is, of course, length. This movie is not even that long. It's 1 hour and 50 minutes. Whereas I'll take something like this over a terrible movie that's just so long.
I forgot, how long was Freddy Got Finger?
90 minutes. It's technically shorter than this, but I can pick another example.
Oh, wait! But McCavity is trying to get up.
Right.
Yeah, I'm kind of with McCavity here. Please take me away, movie, so at least I don't have to watch you anymore.
Uh-oh. And
this is what the movie passes for comedy. Is that Napoleon statue?
Yes. Get it? Because he's a Napoleon of crime.
Why is it Napoleon?
Guys, Napoleon.
Why is a Napoleon statue in London?
Because, as we all know, Napoleon was such an important British figure.
Oh my god! He was literally motorboating her.
Oh, don't you see also the other cats return from the boat off screen?
And they're all making out. Why?
Yeah, like, final toast. A toast to death. We can't escape from it, and thankfully, it can take us away from this piece of garbage.
You know, if they're trying to reincarnate, why don't they... Okay, look.
There's still 15 minutes left, guys.
Right, this... Judy. Yeah. No, please, don't
I love it.
She spends like a lot of the rest of this film screen time staring at the viewer.
Also, look at the face of that one cat in the background. He's like, oh, what's going on here, Judy?
This particular song is about, normally for a correct the musical, to addressing the viewer and telling, please treat your cats, fine. Don't be an asshole to them, even the stray ones. But in this movie, it's just... Judy Dench is staring at me and telling how wonderful cats are and just like, please end already.
Well, Pedro, there's your message. You wanted a message. Here's the message in this lovely story. How deep.
Fetching
Again. Look at the cat in the background there. He looks stumped by all this. Like, was that...
Again, this is basically the ugliest weenie. It's good to be ugly.
Should start singing "Everyone Wants to Be a Cat."
Like,
It's,
yeah, if that was
To be fair, here we had a lot of misplaced, ethnicities here. Stop staring.
How do you feel as somebody who's not a cat person, Tio?
Don't you see, guys?
That's the thing, Sher. I never
Wait.
told you, but I can't. Sorry, go on.
One rule is true.
yes.
But Ben was supposed to start.
The cat, of course.
Let me put it this way, Jova. Like, for people who cannot stand the way this movie looks, this movie will probably seem twice as long, but that's still 3 hours. Whereas Revenge of the Fallen to me feels like it goes on for 5.
At some point, we really need to start seeing the Bayformers movie. At this point, I'm just curious, I guess.
Again,
You
first
were
one.
saying, Tio?
Again,
I'll tell you for the minor thoughts, don't worry, Sher.
Okay.
Go on,
Well,
Jova.
let me ask you a question.
anyway, first
For
one.
later, Pedro, don't worry. Go on, Jova.
First one's good. Second one is crap. Third one's
No,
fine.
no, Jova, I'm talking about just seeing them, not hearing what you think about them.
Okay. But don't you see, guys? Now you know all there is to know about cats.
So
Don't you
basically,
feel like you've learned a lot?
So the moral of the movie is treat your cats better.
Or they'll kill
wouldn't-
themselves.
I mean,
With the death cult. Joining the
if
death
this was-
cult.
if this was the first time, if this film were the first time I ever heard about cats, I wouldn't want one.
Yeah, imagine if an alien comes to Earth and doesn't know anything about cats.
Yeah, seriously.
And,
You would
and
think-
that
you would think
representative from
cats-
Earth says, there, this is all you need to know about cats. And
it's
then
like-
he's saying, like, please stand by for your complete and total annihilation.
Or either that, or they would consider cats the dominant species.
Hey, Shiroi,
Honestly,
That joke has been done. Yes, Pedro?
has it ever occurred to you that maybe the reason he wrote that into that episode is because he saw this movie? Who knows, Shiroi? Maybe this also was a cause. Who knows?
you know what? You know what? If that were the case, since he does look at a lot of Western media, I would let that one slide. Actually, I would.
Okay, so what do we do now? Do we all just
Stop
make out?
fornicating. Stop
Also,
fornicating.
Also, Tio, between going on what you said, between this movie and Captain Marvel, the aliens are already on
Again,
this planet.
what?
You're looking at them.
Yeah, you know what? I wish the alien cat
dear
that Carol
Jellicle.
had
Honestly,
came here and killed everyone.
Gosh, your
honestly,
face looks horribly CGI'd right there in this lighting.
honestly, I find more entertainment in Captain Marvel, to be honest.
Ugh, did not
I
like
guess
that
no.
movie.
I guess at least no one is an asshole to anyone else, which is
I get
ironic
that.
considering not even the villain is an asshole to everyone else.
And there
I
she
get that,
goes,
Joe, but
off
it's
to
just-
die.
Why do I
I
get to
get-
see Judi Dench's teeth?
I get that, Jova, but it was still a better made movie than this one, to be honest with you.
Oh, gee,
mean,
yes,
yeah.
yes. I also jumped
And
over
there
a
she goes.
puddle. What
And
an
by the way,
accomplishment.
that's the end. Cut to credits.
Yep, the character dies. The best character in the movie just dies, and that's how our movie ends. Shiroi,
So, is there a mid-credit sequence or
I don't
whatever?
think so. I'm
check.
keeping the movie on just to know. But again, is this movie taking inspiration from those traditional horrible licensed video game where it just cuts from the ending to black to credits?
Well, guys, was that an adventure or what?
If this is the Christmas miracle, I want a refund.
Oh,
There are no refunds or
I'm gonna
exchanges.
Idris elbow everyone in their pancreas for this.
I'm gonna Ian McKill this production.
I'm gonna swiftly move on out of
You
here
stole my joke!
and rebel.
Wait, Ray Winston was in this movie?
Yeah,
What?
we mentioned that. Oh
My
yeah,
bad.
introducing Francesca Hayward. Surely this will help
Well,
her career soar.
Well, Shira, you stole nearly 2 hours of my time with this film, so you had it coming.
But to answer Shiri's question, I never told you actually. For a long time, having a cat was actually the pet that I always wanted for my family, but we never actually wanted one because they believe it was too big of a responsibility. I'll tell you more in detail another time for the fine prints. But essentially because of where I live, it's kind of impractical to have a cat because there's a good chance it may just run away or anything. But again, more on that when the recording is off.
Can I go first?
Yeah, go on, Dweebs. I need to somatize the rest of a fucking bottle.
Wait, hold on. One more thing about the credits. Yes, executive producer Andrew Lloyd Webber. I'm sure he appreciates being an executive producer on this as much as Steven Spielberg did.
The funny thing, Joe, is that at least Andrew Lloyd Webber allowed himself to be credited in this. Alan Moore did not even want that for the Watchmen movie. Go on, Dweebs. I need to somatize the rest of the bottle.
Yeah, gee, is it any wonder that in spite of how baffling Rise of Skywalker was, people would still rather watch that than this movie? Is it any wonder?
Nope.
Skywalker pissed me off more than this movie, to be honest with you.
Yeah, same.
But here's the thing, though. Rise of Skywalker, for all its problems, and there are many, was at least made well. This film doesn't even have that. It goes all over the place. And, like, no scene is given a chance to sink in. It just skips right to the next one, which is it was kind of a problem adapting this as a film to begin with, because Cats didn't have much of a story. It was just a big theater experience, which is where it belongs.
Was there an actor literally called Meow Meow? My God.
Possibly.
That's an alias, probably.
And there is barely any story in this movie. The most you could get is Idris Elba is a bad guy. A bunch of cats are horny and want to die. And there is this one good song, but the effects ruin it.
I'm gonna agree with Dwibs. Like, out of the two, this movie feels more of a rip-off than Rise of Skywalker. Like, at least in Rise of Skywalker, you get some idea of what you're paying for. This, if you were paying for any kind of structural story or whatnot,
To be fair, Joe, you get what the movie title advertises you. You get cats.
Do you really get cats? Because it looks more like just humans.
No, we didn't even get cats adjacent
as cats. So no, I'd argue the movie doesn't give us what it properly titled to you.
No, you get
these are mutants.
You get human faces poorly CGI'd onto cats' bodies. And again, I guess, like I said, the animators did not deserve any of the shit they were getting, but it still looks bad.
Alas.
Yeah, I mean, the sets are okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's effects-wise, that's the nicest thing I have to say. But the cat effects are just terrible. I mean, they just.
Ugh.
I'm guessing this is the patched version that I'm watching off YouTube.
Yes, sir.
Because I would have hated to have seen how pre-patched it looks.
A sick part of me actually wants to watch what he actually was look like.
Yeah.
Oh boy, and hearing that this film was completed like hours before it was meant to have its big premiere, it speaks wonders as to how the production of this one was an absolute mess. Well,
how the movie industry treats so badly the poor people who actually do work the most on the movie.
But again, it's like I said before. Yeah, I do feel bad for the animators, especially since we're working with Tom Hooper, who decided I'm going to be an arsehole today.
He really didn't know what he was doing with the effects, even.
He could have just handed it to a visual effects supervisor and spared himself his reputation's kind of taken a hit now. But I have to say it is still bad animation.
Do you think?
Again, it's like I said, it's like a lot of things. There are reasons why it's bad, but it's still bad. I'm not going to sugarcoat it or anything. It just looks horrible.
Do you think maybe this could have worked if Andy Serkis was the one in charge of this?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing. That Andy Serkis would have used motion capture. This film doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It uses some other technique. Like they just see
black magic.
Black magic. Yeah, exactly. Well done. I mean, the music okay, the best songs are the ones that is the overture at the beginning because it sounds the most like the musical from what I've heard. It keeps the 80s synth and it uses it for it's basically it's a decently done cut down version of the overture.
Mhm.
And Memory, and that's the best overall lyrical song. It's Memory because Jennifer Hudson's trying her hardest to sell what's going on, in spite of what the hell she's caked in, along with everyone else. But the rest of the music is the rest of the music is just kind of there. It's like instruments don't sound right. Singers aren't as energetic, which, considering again, aside from my feelings about Jason Derulo and his songs, normally he has a lot of energy, but that just didn't carry over into this.
Mm.
And I mean, I can see James Corden's previous theatre experience in this. But I mean, he was stuck with a damp squib of a character. He has like one joke. He's fat.
And then
Which
he
is
gets magicked away by McCavity.
And
Which
gets
is more-
rescued off screen.
Which even so is more than I can say for Rebel Wilson's character, who I don't even think has a joke.
Well, her joke is, I'm frisky and I'm a rebel, god damn it. And that, for some reason, she can switch between her skin and a dress, which again is how she escapes and helps Bustopher Jones escape, Tio, so...
Hooray. I'm surprised we didn't get, by the way, for the credits, I'm surprised we didn't get the... Oh, there's the original Cats logo. I'm surprised we didn't get the... No animals were actually harmed in the making of this movie.
Yeah.
Perfect world pictures.
In your ass.
I mean, considering they actually cut out the arse in this movie.
Yeah, but
Don't worry, I have an even better summation for the movie from my final thoughts. But go on, Wibs, please.
But overall, this film was a complete shit show from top to bottom. I don't know if anybody who came out good at the end of this, at the very least in the short term. And poor Francesca Hayward. I mean, yeah, her acting's not good, but I mean, she can certainly dance.
This was supposed to be her big film debut, according to the credits.
Like, I mean, at the very least, I'm glad she's back to. I don't normally watch ballets, but I'm glad she's at least back there doing her thing, in her natural environment. But everyone else, I mean, it wasn't a good look for them, but especially Lee Hall, who I can at least say, yeah, this one was shit from him, but at least he had a good musical earlier on in the year. Tom Hooper, though, I mean, he directed a bad movie. His co-writing is horrible, and based on what I've heard, he's a douchebag, at least to animators. Which is a shame. I've seen The Damned United. I've seen The King's Speech. I know he's at least a decent director.
Well, Dibs, it's like how Tia found out about the director of Manchurian when we looked into Island of Dr. Moreau. Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a shame, but things happen. I mean, it does kind of suggest that one thing I hope comes from this is that, not every director of a movie is a sage. Every person has their flaws, and that's the same with every director. Like in most cases, the worst you can say about a director is that they're so dedicated to their vision that they're just kind of stubborn. But rarely do you hear it descend into full-blown arseholiness. But that's about it. I'll go off for a bit, but I'll come back once we decide what we're gonna do next.
Pedro, might as well, since
Pedro.
I guess you don't have much to say.
Well, that was a thing, I guess. I don't quite understand much of what exactly just happened. Like, it was mostly just people being horny.
So, Pedro, question. Do you think that this was
Yes.
more cock-teasing than your typical ecchi anime?
I guess.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. I don't know. It's just like, again, I can't. For the most part, I can't even understand what's going on, because the character, like we've said, everything goes by way too fast. It doesn't give any time to absorb.
But doesn't it
anything.
make you feel Jellicle?
No, it doesn't make me feel anything. It just makes me feel bored. Because, like I said, the presentation of this movie, I've seen worse. So, and I'm used to this kind of stuff. So I'm not really bothered by how the movie looks. to be
So
honest
Pedro
with you.
will not be gifting me Balin. Okay.
You almost sound disappointing. Don't say that.
Yeah, whatever. No. How about this, Shiroi? How about this? Okay. How about this? Your comeback for this from me will be the next time I'm able to, I will pick Felidae.
Yeah, you can do that.
So there you go.
Shiroi, do you know?
I don't think she does. Don't worry, she'll find out.
know
No,
what?
I don't know.
You know what? I'm sure it'll be just a wonderful time then.
Oh, definitely. The basic point is, yeah, this movie is just, it makes no sense. It's just dumb, and I don't even think the songs are that good to begin with. They're fine, but I've seen better from him. It really is a movie that just, I can't even understand. It's hard for me to even judge this because I don't know what the hell I just watched, to be honest with you. Like, I mean, yeah, I'm not bothered by the visuals, but I kind of almost wish I was, because that way I could actually feel something from this thing. Because honestly, I was just passively watching, to be honest with you, because this thing doesn't really heat me or it doesn't really get me colder or hotter. It's just like I'm just sitting here and I'm just watching a really generic, bad, confused, bad movie that doesn't whatever.
So it's about to pick your poison. Either be bored out of your mind or have all your senses except for your ears assaulted. I do get... Okay, I'll admit, I do get your point about being bored, though. I personally find it terrible, but outside of that, nothing really does happen in the movie when you get down to it.
No, it does not. Like, honestly, okay, let me put it this way. I actually was more baffled by the high frame rate version of The Hobbit than this. Why? Again, it's kind of hard to explain because so few people actually watch that in theaters. The high frame rate version, I mean. So, okay. Because the visuals in here, while they're arguably disgusting to look at, things look like they should, as in, like, the walls look like walls. You know, like the people, well, the cat people look like cat people. Whereas in Hobbit, when I would see what was supposed to be a waterfall, just looked like a blue mural to me. So I guess that in that aspect, I was just like so completely shocked at how bad everything looked. In here, I'm just like, this just looks like a really badly done and really boring parody porno. And like, and it's the worst kind. I'm literally watching a parody porno without the sex scenes.
I know, right? Like I asked, if it's more cock-teasing than your typical ecchi anime.
I don't even. Whatever. The point is, this movie sucks, and like, okay, I guess I really wish I could be more perked up about this, but to be perfectly honest, I just found this to be absolutely mind-numbing and boring. To be honest with you, I'm done. Go on,
Tio.
Oh, okay, sure.
Honestly, you still sound sober, surprisingly.
I'm about to lose Jova. I'm mastering every bit of my being to remain in control.
Hang in there.
Yeah, fitting considering the poster had a cat. Sorry. Anyway. Okay. Anyway, this movie certainly shows a lot of pussies. There's the low common denominator joke. But okay, I'll just be quick for the sake of it. Again, the main problem comes from the presentation factor. The movie just looks uncanny. As a story on its own is harmless at best. Sure, it has some scratchy moments, like McCavity's motivations, Idris Elba's character's motivation, and maybe the fact that Deuteronomy gets rescued, of kind of like in a Deus Ex Machina kind of thing, that things happen off screen. But other than that, it's mostly harmless, like Pedro, into that. The major problem is how this movie is so uncanny to look at. It's just so awful. And I severely doubt this is going to be a case where in 20 or so years, people will try to see this movie as a misunderstood, movie.
The misunderstood majesty that is Cats.
And say that it was ahead of its time. Then again, people keep claiming that the NFTs are the future, so what the fuck do I know anymore about our own reality? Again, the movie creeps me genuinely the fuck out in all of these places. So the musics are technically fine. As someone who normally doesn't like musicals, it's technically serviceable. I can see why someone would listen to the soundtrack of it. And I guess that's the better outcome of it. Listen to the soundtrack on Spotify or some shit. I don't know. Just don't watch this in action, because I'm surprised I never actually vomited on this thing. But the alcohol surely poured very well of this about this death cult that loves to snug each other. Look, the idea of this particular club where if you enter you have sex all the time and then you have a guaranteed trip to heaven or something sounds very appealing, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm not gonna become a cat just for that. I'm sorry. The actors are, most of them are fine on their own. The only one I don't like is I think it's Rebel Wilson. Yes, it's Jenny Anecdotes. Mostly because of what they gave her to do. James Corden is technically a bit better, but not much as Buster Jones. Even Idris Elba as McCavity is kind of like just there. It's not even things, but it's bad. It's just there, not more than that. This is just, again, this is just awful to look at. I seriously, I do wonder if Universal is going to seriously try to have yet another patch for when the movie gets released on Peacock eventually.
What could they do to make this look better outside of a complete graphic overhaul, though?
I don't know. I know that it might be possible to have some savaging, but other than that, again, it's rough. Again, I do remember appreciating what I saw of the musical back when I was a child. So this story is not without its merits. It's just that this movie doesn't work. At best, it's just boring, like Pedro said. And like Druva said, instead, it's a cock teasing. So I'll see you back when we have to take our destination in the slave. This movie can jellicle my balls for all I know. Next.
This movie is absolute garbage and rubbish, and yet it's okay. I think one good reason for why it's considered one of the worst movies of all time, it's a movie that arguably does have decent acting overall across the board, great singing, great songs made by the legendary Andrew Lloyd Webber. But the first and foremost problem with it is the visuals. The visuals being so terrible that they absolutely ruin everything. That is something that takes a huge grand scale in terribleness on the movie scale. That's not to say that there aren't other problems too. The story and pacing, what they tried to cobble together, are god-awful. And a lot of character motivations don't even make sense. And that's ignoring the fact that this is essentially a Delph cult that's treated as nice and whatnot. Again, maybe if it had some of the original context of the musical, it could work. But as we mentioned, they chose to race wash, age wash, or just downright gender swap, and in some cases, it makes the story make less sense. Like, yeah, Grisabella, she, in the original, she's like an old cat, and you can get why she wanted to be reincarnated, but no, she's young, fine, she's got plenty of her life ahead of her, yet she really wants to die. And McCavity is, well, it's Idris Elba trying his best here. Again, what I really want to know is, what got people on board? Like, at least with the Island of Dr. Moreau, we get it. Most people wanted to work with Marlon Brando at the time here. That was the main thing that drew them. What drew the actors to this? And maybe some saw it as a paycheck, but it does seem like some legit were interested in it. And let's not forget that some of these aren't even actors. Like, they're mainly singers, and this is like their first movie properly. Or like Jason Derulo or Taylor Swift. Like, again, were they really that enticed with getting to look like cat abomination humans? Granted, maybe they thought it would look better, because pre-production and all that, but still, though, ouch.
Me ouch.
What a catastrophe.
Oh my god, what is this doing to me?
What a perfect storm.
No. Stop. If this is hell, please take me back. I'm gonna get into the tea time room from Time and Eternity, thank you.
So, yeah. Oh boy. They really pussed out on this one.
Stop.
It's a god-awful mess. Shiroi, roll the yarn up with this one.
Sure, whatever. Okay. I do agree that, yeah, if the visuals weren't so horrific, it would probably be pretty bland. Although, even then, this movie can't really decide on a tone.
Or story.
Sometimes it's ridiculous, sometimes it's trying to be dramatic, and not in a way that works, that complements each other. It's just, you need to pick one or the other. The music is also all over the place. Like, you have some songs from the musical, you have some original songs that aren't, that good. And then you have the general instrumental score that is just going really hard for some reason. I don't understand. They're trying, and I commend them for trying, but oh boy.
The game was
I'm
rigged
sure
from
this
the start.
Yeah. I'm sure this was fun to film. Maybe not fun for the crew, considering, but this, I'm sure there were a lot of laughs had when it came to the actual filming.
Again, how did the direction go? All right, Rebel, now lick near your thighs here.
I wonder if some of the effects were actually done in post-production, like Judi Dench's character raising her leg or something. It just gave a general reaction to the actor or actress.
Maybe they really did just watch videos of what cats just do, and is like, okay, imitate that and be ridiculous about it. And yeah,
sounds like an easy paycheck, I guess.
And I've said it before in different commentaries, but I need to hear the audio description for this movie now that I've seen it.
Oh, that's right. Apparently
I need to know how that went.
Apparently there is a commentary
quite
attached.
An interesting job.
There is
try to describe this movie while keeping a completely straight face.
Again, apparently it worked with some agent meetings with these people. It's like, you're a cat, you're naked, sign me up! And apparently there's a very, very weird commentary from the director himself, which comes in the DVD box set, which is, from what I've heard, apparently only adds on to the weirdness. I haven't seen it, but I've heard stories about it.
But anyway, I don't have much else to say about this. This was very, very bad. I'm sorry I ruined Christmas.
No.
You're not really.
You're not really sorry, are you?
No, I am. No, I hadn't seen it before, and I thought this would be a good laugh. It was not a good laugh. This was a disaster.
They told me it was Laughing Comrade. It was not.
Well,
This was a catastrophe.
Ha 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 ha. Oh. All
Of
right.
cataclysmic
Yeah, before the
Yes.
puns
proportions.
continue.
There was a double pun in there, and I didn't realize. Now I need the alcohol. Fuck.
well,
That
well
reminds
done.
me, Dweebs, I just apparently found out a letter, very years late, how long has it been there, of a certain Miss Gutierrez, Colty, Nicole Kidman, whatever. She tells us that she needs to approve an investigation because we might be possessed by demons or some shit. So we need to act together in an alternate Earth. What the hell is this fever
Wait,
dream?
wait. Let me see that letter. This thing is 14 years old.
Do we need to watch out for polar bears or some
And,
shit?
and it's,
Apparently.
wait, 14 years old, and it was specifically addressed to Squirm Comms, even though we didn't exist back then.
And what's
Okay,
this
what
under
is
it?
this?
From your old pals at New Line Cinema.
How
Right.
great.
Oh, don't, but
God,
hey,
yes.
but hey, guys, don't worry. I'll take care of the navigation. I just got to get a very special piece of equipment out for it.
Like a bronze compass, a silver compass.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get a toy compass. I'm kidding. So join us next time, audience, when we venture out into the world of the death of movie studios,
Basically,
Yes, see you
where we will be
then.
tackling the Golden Compass.
2006. I see.
7, actually.
Yeah.
Seven.
Fuck.